WNBC for New York.
Good evening, I'm Lou Young with Carol Jenkins. Ralph Penza is off tonight. A Queens family has been forever torn apart, police say, by a drunk driver.
Well, the horrifying New Year's tragedy took three members of the same family, a mother, a father, and their teenage daughter. Today, as prosecutors gathered evidence against the man arrested for running them down, family and friends were still in deep shock. Steve Dawson has our report.
Residents of this Queen apartment house read the news of the Merzia family tragedy in disbelief. They'd all been neighbors.
It's not only one, like one of the twins. It's the mother and the father and one of the daughters. That's horrible.
Police say at 8:30 Friday night, on New Year's Day, Mr. and Mrs. Merziev and a 16-year-old daughter were killed crossing Queens Boulevard. They were struck by a car driven by 44-year-old Carlisle Thompson, another Queens resident who works as a rent programmer with the city. According to police, Thompson was speeding and drunk when his car hit the family.
I was at the scene myself last evening, and I saw the carnage. It will not be easy to forget that which I saw. It was a graphic reminder that alcohol and automobiles are a deadly combination that all too often produce devastating results.
The Merziev family was walking down Queens Boulevard to a Dunkin' Donuts to pick up yet another daughter who was working there. Ironically, that daughter may have passed the accident scene on her way home without knowing what had happened.
I didn't see the accident, but I saw when it's police cars and they were on the ground.
And did you know it was your family then?
I didn't know, but they told me that it was a man and woman and a girl.
The Merziev family are recent immigrants from Russia. They moved to America 3 years ago. Mother, father, two daughters, and a set of twins. Now suddenly only 3 sisters are left, and 2 of them are still teenagers. Alexandra wonders, what are we going to do?
Okay, I'm tired.
Steve Dawson, News 4, New York.
Well, the driver of the car, Carlisle Thompson, is charged with vehicular manslaughter, criminally negligent homicide, and drunken driving. A grand jury will get the case in the next couple of days.
Well, Carol, tonight a pilot and his 3 passengers are safe and sound after unexpectedly hitting the beach this morning. The low-wing Cherokee aircraft had taken off from Brookhaven Airport and was on its way to Philadelphia. The pilot, Martin Ferris of Santa Mauritius on Long Island, notified Kennedy Airport he was having engine trouble and was going to make an emergency landing at Jones Beach. Nassau County Police rushed to the number 5 parking lot out there where the plane landed safely. No one was injured.
Police tonight are still searching for a missing Long Island girl. Today, they retraced their steps following the trail of 10-year-old Katie Beers, who disappeared 5 days ago. Police again questioned people at the gas station. That is where the terrified girl is said to have made a call from a phone booth, saying she had been taken by a man with a knife. Katie had been with a family friend on a birthday shopping trip with a stop at the Spaceplex amusement arcade. Police have searched the home of the friend, 43-year-old John Esposito, and he has admitted to a conviction of unlawful imprisonment of a young man 15 years ago, but denies involvement in Katie's disappearance. The Long Island Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the safe recovery of Katie Beers. Call 516-73-YOUTH, that's 73-YOUTH, or toll free 1-800-883-MISSING. The number of homicides in New York City dropped 6% last year. Preliminary statistics show just over 2,000 murders in 1991. An increase in police presence on the streets is being credited as the reason for a decline in homicides. However, violent crime escalated in Queens. The borough had a record high of 367 homicides last year. Queens DA Richard Brown attributes the growth to an increase on drugs and guns.
Well, overseas now, with 2.5 weeks to go in his administration, President Bush is trying to make his final mark on history tonight in Moscow with Russian President Boris Yeltsin. Mr. Bush stepped off Air Force One this morning, arriving in the frigid Russian winter, a sharp contrast to the hot, arid sands of Somalia, where he met with U.S. troops over the New Year's holiday. The 2 presidents clinked glasses in a toast, offering the world a joint New Year's gift, their decision to sign the START II nuclear arms reduction treaty. The treaty will bring the 2 nuclear arsenals to their lowest level since the 1960s. The Russians have agreed to eliminate the dreaded 10-warhead SS-18 missile capable of hitting the American heartland, but remain concerned about the U.S. submarine-based missile forces. Now, U.S. negotiators say they're worried about the 3 former Soviet republics, including the Ukraine, with nuclear missiles on their soil. They have so far refused to sign an international agreement giving up those weapons. Now, back in Somalia today, relief efforts were shattered by violence when an Irish-born UNICEF worker was murdered. Sean Devereux was shot in the head while walking from a UNICEF office in the Somali port of Kismayo. He is the second UNICEF worker killed in Somalia in the past 12 months. The U.S., meanwhile, says the international response to Somalia's plight has been so great it is cutting the number of American troops committed to Somalia by 4,000.
And the chances for peace in Bosnia look dim after negotiations today in Geneva. Bosnia's Muslim president says the current proposal on the table is not acceptable. Mediators propose splitting Bosnia-Herzegovina into 10 autonomous provinces. The leader of Bosnia's Serbs reiterated his demand for a separate Serb state. The 2 leaders, along with the leader of Bosnia's Croats, have until tomorrow to submit their objections in writing. Meantime, discussion among military leaders to implement a lasting ceasefire and open up routes for humanitarian aid is being called very positive.
Well, the mayor's plan to keep classrooms open late. Plenty more still ahead on News 4 New York. We'll tell you about the push to expand the so-called Beacon School program. Dangerous moments for some of the city's bravest as a fire truck topples over.
Also coming up, the show must go on, but where? The story of a theater troupe without a home. And Ira's ready to sing Baby It's Cold Outside.
It's been cold all year, Carol and Lou. When will it warm up? You stay tuned. We'll talk about that very subject coming up on the weather on News 4 New York.
I'm no pushover. I don't jump every time somebody screams sale. I mean, even though I need a new car, I'm waiting for the right deal. So when I come down there, you better be ready for me. Because when you say now is the right time, it better not just be balloons and confetti. So what do you got?
Lease a Nissan Maxima or Pathfinder for just $279 a month till January 5th.
This week, Giant Carpet's prices are so low, the person you'll want to kiss on New Year's Eve is our sales director, Bob Bloom. Well, maybe not.
This Sunday, Collector's Hut returns for our first sale of 1993 to sell out over 3,000 beautiful oil paintings at $45 or less. Incredible! In addition, hundreds of our gallery oils like you see here at unbelievably low prices. This Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in East Rutherford at the Sheraton Meadowlands Hotel. In Tarrytown at the Westchester Marriott. In Smithtown, Long Island at the Sheraton. In Uniondale at the Long Island Marriott. In Staten Island at the Staten Island Hotel. In Somerset at the Marriott. In Parsippany at the Sheraton Tara. At LaGuardia Airport at the Holiday Inn Crowne Plaza. And in Stamford, Connecticut at the Marriott.
You're in an emergency. You can't speak. That's when Medic Alert speaks for you. One call gives us your conditions, medicines, physicians, and family. Medic Alert helps us save lives.
Millions worldwide depend on Medic Alert. Ask your pharmacist or call 1-800-ID-ALERT. That's 1-800-ID-ALERT.
Mrs. Washburn, I'm Gerald Fry's mother.
Oh, don't you work night?
I traded shifts. Mrs. Washburn, about Gerald. I wish I could help him learn better, but I'm no genius.
Well, you don't have to do the homework, but ask to see it. Let him show off what he learned. Praise him more. Show you care.
You think we got a chance here?
A good chance. Show me a parent who really cares, and I'll show you a kid who can learn.
Well, they are called Beacon schools because the lights in their classrooms now burn bright at a time when they used to be dark and empty. Now Mayor Jenkins is pushing to expand the program, encouraging more community activities. Mike Morris has the details.
This area of Manhattan, which includes Harlem and Washington Heights, is all too well known for burned-out buildings, a high crime rate, last summer's riots, and, unfortunately, too many kids with too much time on their hands. But the expansion of a Department of Youth Services program called Beacon might help keep some of those kids out of playgrounds that have abandoned vehicles instead of jungle gyms and piles of trash and rubble instead of swing sets. Beacon is a city-funded program that's designed to allow members of the local community, adults and kids alike, to use schools that have been kept open evenings and weekends. Schools like this one, PS 194 at 144th and 7th Avenue. Before Beacon, this building's doors were shuttered and the halls lay quiet after school. But now, PS 194 and currently 21 others like it around the city is filled with youthful chatter and fun-filled games. It's an opportunity for kids, big and small, to get together, according to Commissioner of Youth Services Richard Murphy, who says the program was an instant success.
I've actually had people protesting in my office to get one located on their block as opposed to 10 blocks west.
I come over here, go back to practice upstairs, then I come back down, come down here to play with my friends.
I like to come here, so it's like it's like a family.
If they were at the County College Community Center, they would either be at home or they'd be outside. And as we know right now, on 144th Street and 7th Avenue may not be the safest place.
With enough time spent off the mean streets of the Big Apple and in programs like this one, life's hurdles might be a little easier to jump over for a lot of these kids. Reporting from Manhattan, I'm Mike Morris, News 4 New York.
And the mayor's call for expansion of the Beacon program is expected to come during his State of the City address on Monday.
Well, the new year may bring a crackdown on street vendors working in our town without a license. Mayor Jenkins is planning to clear the streets and sidewalks with some new regulations. The number of peddler licenses has been frozen since 1979. There are only 1,100 permits in existence. According to a report in today's New York Post, a new plan will designate special areas on city-owned property for vendors and will try to eliminate the blocking of sidewalks and the sale of stolen or counterfeit goods. Now, it's estimated there are 10,000 illegal vendors in the city, which translates to a loss of millions of dollars in unpaid sales taxes. A New Year's Day deal brings the New York Daily News closer to new ownership tonight. The deal struck between the Printers Union and publisher Mortimer Zuckerman paves the way for him to buy that paper. If approved by union members, the agreement would end a court battle that has blocked Zuckerman from buying the Daily News. The price tag for the paper is $37 million. Zuckerman began negotiating to buy the Daily News back in September.
Below firefighters in Harlem had just finished putting out a fire this morning when they were faced with another headache. One of their trucks, the big one, the one with the ladder, tipped over. They had just finished repositioning the ladder when all 20 tons of fire truck went crashing down onto a parked car. It seems one of these anchors that are supposed to keep the truck upright did not do its job. One firefighter suffered a twisted ankle when he jumped away from the falling truck. There were no other injuries, and that's a miracle.
Amazing.
It's football playoff time. Sports still ahead on News 4. And at one of today's games, an angry protest aimed at the Washington Redskins. We'll tell you what it was all about.
And danger on the runway as icy conditions in the southwest leave jetliners slipping and sliding. And Mother Nature's chilly grip has got us, and Ira Jo Fisher's got the forecast. Up next.
Celebrate the holidays with special savings during the Jeep and Eagle Award Celebration Sale, where you'll find the award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokee and the award-winning Eagle Vision, plus year-end values on legendary Jeep Wranglers and classic new Jeep Cherokees. So hurry to the Award Celebration Sale at your dealer now and bring the best of a special season home to you and yours.
The city, the music, the radio station,
CD 101.9,
Cool FM.
CD 101.9, CD 101.9, CD 101.9.
The winter sale. 20 to 50% off regular prices for men and women at Barney's, New York.
Hi, I'm Neil Patrick, president, with a great offer from Wardley.
Discover the fun of owning an aquarium in Wardley's FinFax Aquarium Handbook, yours free at Petland discounts, featuring the most popular tropical marine pond and goldfish, plus recommended feeding programs.
Join the fun. Get Wardley's Aquarium Handbook free and Petland discounts.
Petland discounts for the best care of pet care.
Icy weather caused 2 Boeing 737s to skid off a runway last night in Oklahoma City. A United flight from Spokane slid about 20 feet off the runway. Some ground workers say the plane was landing on the north end of the runway when conditions changed almost immediately from acceptable to unacceptable. In the second incident, a Continental flight en route to Denver slid off the runway during takeoff. There were no injuries in either case. It seems winter is hitting just about everywhere, including right here.
Absolutely.
That's right. I want you to know there were no injuries yesterday either. I went ice skating, you know.
You did?
I did. I actually...
Deliberately ice skating.
Deliberately ice
Yeah,
skating,
okay.
and I actually stayed up on my skates.
Well, way to go.
It was a miracle.
Well, I'm very proud of you. Do we have any tape? A little demonstration?
Yeah, there are those who threaten to tape it, right?
Okay. Well, we'll have to conspire to do that sometime, I think. Right now, let's see what the weather is conspiring to deal our way. The temperature, very chilly outside our window as we look, and we won't be able to do this much longer. The tree, not the last time, but one of the last times. In Manhattan right now, our temperature is at 33. The sky is partly cloudy, and we have a real chilly northwest wind at 12 miles an hour, relative humidity 47%, rising barometer, very high pressure, 30.60 inches, and with our 12 mile an hour northwest wind, 33-degree temperature, we have a wind chill of 17. The deal is this: a large but very narrow band of high pressure is over our area or moving through the area. The center of it is actually to the north. It will slip off the coast tomorrow, thus permitting this clump of clouds to move into our area. And in some places, especially in the places where it's colder, traditionally, tomorrow night could have some freezing rain of our own. Stay tuned. We'll see how that develops. 37 was the high today in Manhattan. The low was 25, and right now we have temperatures that are near or a little bit below that freezing mark around the tri-state. Be careful in your automobile. There's no rain right now, but it's chilly outside your window. And we will tonight have a clear sky initially and a northeast wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And we're going to see temperatures falling back into the 20s, except, and he had his voice fraught with drama at this point, hitting the teens, Rockland, Westchester counties in northwestern New Jersey and over interior Connecticut. And even coastal Connecticut, you might see some temperatures in the teens, too. And they'll still be there in the morning, even though we should see a little bit of sunshine, albeit briefly, because the clouds will be increasing. 7:20, the sun will rise. The wind will be in the process of shifting from the northeast to the south. You won't want to sleep late and miss that. It's kind of an exciting weather event. And then during the day, we're going to see a pretty cloudy Sunday. We'll have a south wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour, giving us temperatures a bit milder. The sun will set at 4:41, and your 5-day forecast looks exactly like this. Clouds tomorrow, 41 the temperature, and by tomorrow night, maybe some light rain, and in places, Connecticut, southeastern New York, parts of northern New Jersey, could have some freezing drizzle. Monday, rain should develop. It'll be cloudy. And Tuesday, cloudy with a chance of rain as well. And clearing on Wednesday, mostly sunny Thursday. And look at there, milder again. What a wacky year this has been.
Up to 50 already.
That's right,
Okay.
2 days old.
Thank you very much, Ira. We'll see you at 11. And lots of Saturday sports as we continue for you. The Knicks in a matinee at the Garden as a former teammate returns in a new uniform.
Also, some young performers who need a new place to perform. We'll tell you why these actors need a new stage. Stay with us.
We're on our way to a Toyotathon record. What's the word on trucks, Tricia?
They're really moving, Squire.
Toyota's got the incentives to buy now. We're moving them out in record numbers.
Tell me again, how much did you save?
I saved about $2,500.
How did you do that?
I got a great deal and a break on options.
Terrific.
Now is the time to save in a great selection of tough Toyota trucks, ranked best compact pickup and initial quality. And the big news at your Toyota dealer is a big new T100.
Get to your Toyota dealer now.
The Toyotathon Challenge is on, and you're still sitting there?
Happy holidays from Poor New York.
Well, let's see Hillary clean that up, Barbara.
New Year's Eve can often mean ruined carpet. So this week, we're giving you 50% off carpets and rugs.
9-iron. Lincoln's pen and ink set. President-elect's portrait.
The Giant Carpet New Year's Blowout Sale.
Presidential. Pardon me. Get it? Pardon me.
Grandma, can I have some more soup, please?
My goodness, I'm so glad it's buy one, get one free week at that, Mom.
Look for this circular, and starting Sunday, get Country Pride chicken breast. Buy one, get one free. Cheerios cereal, buy one, get one free. Pepsi Diet Pepsi or Sliced, 99 cents. Stouffer's Lean Cuisine, 50% off. For buy one, get one free items and savings that count, count on Pathmark, your place to really save.
Count on Pathmark. Anything it takes.
During the Dodge year-end telethon, we'll do anything it takes. Starting with $500 cash back on Shadow ES. No $750. Okay, $1,000.
Anything it takes.
A loaded 6-passenger Spirit would be a great deal at $15,000. How would you like it under 12 grand? Plus, immediate delivery, on-the-spot financing, low down payment.
Anything, anything.
At the Dodge year-end telethon.
Anything it takes.
Native Americans protested outside today's Washington Redskins game.
Without having to look at people degrading and demeaning the Indian culture, it's time to change the name.
But despite the freezing drizzle, about 100 American Indians and their supporters demonstrated outside the Metrodome, protesting the name of the Washington Redskins. The demonstrators claim the team's name is offensive to the culture and heritage of Native American Indians, and they want it changed.
And that, of course, was a
it's not my fault.
wild card playoff team game, and there were 2 of those today, one in progress now, and these guys don't usually go to the Super Bowl, though, right?
No, just twice, as we were discussing this in the off-season there.
Or 3 times.
Yeah, they won once. The Raiders did it. You know, my father taught me 2 things I'll never forget. Well, actually 3, but only 2 I can say in mixed company. He said, work hard and be honest. And he also taught me that you can't score if you don't have the ball. Well, the Minnesota Vikings learned that lesson today. They were home against Washington. As you saw in the NFC wild card game, they got 3 first downs on their first drive. This 42-yard Sean Salisbury pass to Chris Carter, setting up a touchdown. In the second half, Mark Rippon finished the scoring and made it a 24-7 game when he found Gary Clark on a pair of passes. The last one, a 24-yard strike with 17 seconds left in the third quarter. Redskins held the ball for almost 43 minutes, limited the Vikings to 9 first downs, and it'll be Washington at San Francisco next week. In one of the AFC wildcard games, San Diego is trying to make it 12 of its last 13. The Chargers are hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. They're in the fourth quarter now. It's 10-0 San Diego. The big prize in the NFL won't be handed out until January 31st, but in the college ranks, Alabama got its reward last year. Toretta hitting only 24 of 56 passes, 3 interceptions. Alabama finished 13-0 under coach Gene Stallings. And they won the national championship for the first time since 1979. Florida State moved up to number 2. Miami dropped to number 3. It was Notre Dame 4th, Michigan 5th, even though they were undefeated. Syracuse was 6th. Texas A&M dropped down to 7th, while Georgia, Stanford, and Florida rounded out the top 10. If you were at the Garden this afternoon and got a bit confused, don't feel bad, so did the Knicks. The return of Mark Jackson and Kiki Vandeweghe in L.A. Clipper uniforms. It turned into quite a game, though. The Clippers were ahead almost all the way. Danny Manning put his team up by 3 with 36 seconds remaining. But Rolando Blackman threw up a prayer with about 3 seconds showing on the clock and tied the game after missing 10 of 12 previous shots. Jackson still had a chance to win it for L.A. in regulation, but he missed a layup as time expired. Now, in overtime, Patrick Ewing scored the last of his 26 points. 16 seconds remaining. The Knicks led by 1. He also had 17 rebounds. But John Williams dished it off to Gary Grant. He arched one in from the corner, and the Clippers had a 98-97 victory. Jackson had 18 points in his return. The Nets go for 4 in a row tonight when they play in Charlotte. They trail the Knicks by 2 games in the standings. Only 1 hockey game this afternoon, and you will be pleased to know it didn't involve the Rangers, Islanders, or Devils. Those teams all play home tonight. Thankful they're not in Landover, Maryland. The Caps are now undefeated in their last 9 at home, although the Chicago Blackhawks came away with a point this afternoon. They got a 2-1 lead in the second period on some beautiful passing. Dirk Graham put it home. The Caps tied it at 15-23 when Dmitry Kristich scored on the power play, knocked it in from the side of the net. Nobody found the hole the rest of the way, a 2-2 deadlock. And finally, some items of interest in a couple of bowl games on New Year's Day. Dear Mom, I was on TV late this afternoon at the Fiesta Bowl. That's me being dragged by Ralphie the Buffalo near the sidelines. I won't be sleeping at the dorm for a while. And those at the Rose Bowl saw the officials enlisting the services of Angelo Lansbury, who within the span of an hour found out who was responsible for stealing the tissue paper out of the West End bathrooms. Obviously, at certain times, that's more important than solving a murder in Cabot Cove. And that's sports for now.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Don.
You heard Lou cheering Florida here.
Cool.
You know, he's
Number
a
10.
Florida man.
Alumnus.
Yes, we know that.
Yes.
You used to watch me on television.
Listen, some people think Washington could go actually get to the Super Bowl. What do you think?
With their banged-up defense, they're going to have a hard time doing it, but if they play the way they did today, they'll make it again.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you, Don. Well, finally this evening, a theater for children desperately searching for a place to call home. Right here in the theater capital of the world. The Pixie Judy troupe will find itself among the homeless next week. The final curtain went down today at the troupe's temporary home, a room at an East Side church. The troupe has been traveling from theater to theater for the last 28 years. The theater's founder is appealing for help.
We're looking for anything, a theater, a loft, a big store. We've been here 28 years, and we don't want to be a literal mom-and-pop business that's going out of business.
Well, over the years, the Pixie Judy troupe has given tens of thousands of children their first taste in live theater. They would like nothing more than to continue if only they had a home. So everybody knows that out there now. Perhaps something
They need the help. Let's do something about it. We'll be back at 11 o'clock.
See you then. Have a good evening.
Night.